Hello everyone, welcome back to the Battle Lounge, home of the ClickyWalls. In this video I want to talk about dungeon design and the way that I do it when I'm planning on what to build with the ClickyWall system. So this is my remarkable. You don't have to use one of these, obviously you could just use some graph paper. But the first thing you need to do is measure your table, figure out how big it is, and then how much space you've got to build on your table. So my table's about 1 metre, so that's 1,000 millimetres. The ClickyWalls standard grid size is about 120 by 120 mil. What I've put on here are the quad flockers, because at the moment I'm doing a swamp design, so I've printed out a load of the quad flock pieces. I think I've got about 13 at the moment, but obviously I'm going to need 16 to fill the table, so I've still got a couple more to print off. And they even though they're big, the quad flockers are about 240 by 240. They only take just over an hour to print on my printer, so that's quite good. So I'm whizzing them off at the moment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video on how I'm going to turn all these quad flockers into a large swamp area, because that's where we're doing our next D&D campaign. And obviously the great thing about these is you can pour resin in them, you can flock them, you can put little stones and rocks, or you can put all sorts of skulls and bits of broken bodies and armour and weapons and things like that. Get them looking really good. Then pour your resin in afterwards. And once you're finished, these will all stack up into something not much bigger than this remarkable. And so you can fit it all in like a banker's box or something like that. So it's nice and easy to store. You haven't got these massive big game table boards that you've got to store. So really looking forward to doing this. But getting back to the design. So for this one, it's really simple because it's literally just quad flockers that we need to work out how many we need. But if you bear in mind that this is your normal sort of square, which is what that grid is, what I'll do is, let's just go on to that a minute, take that off. So now this is roughly the size of my table that I've got, and then I can just go in and say, well, I want an area in the middle. For example, what I did when I was on holiday the other week, I had four quad size pieces in the middle there, divided like that, and then I had some dungeon, or some prison rather, there and there. So that was my prison, and I had the same on this side, and then I wanted the entrance in one of these areas here, and then essentially I had a walkway here to get to it, which means that you had to come all the way round. So at the top, you come down into this area here. So I had a wall here, some sewage pieces, which was the big quad ones. I had some stairs here going up. And then these were just some planks. So like a tower structure here. This was supposed to be a bridge, but I didn't have bridge pieces at the moment. But I've just designed some bridge pieces, which is what we will have here going across. So obviously this is the next level up, and then underneath I think I just add a double sewer tile, but on this one let's just say that's a quad tile there, so it's a nice big sewer with a bridge going over. Then this was the tower, so then this would be a doorway going in, and then we'd probably have some more stairs, and then a little bit here, and then this will go into a walkway which is full of traps or something like that. And I'm only getting a rough idea. So what I'm trying to do is everybody sat around the table can easily get to this outside bit. So because it's different layers, it's easy to access. And you need to be thinking about that when you're designing your dungeon, that your line of sight and what you can see. This internal structure will be covered over with a big piece that we'll put in on the top, which is, it's going to be covered over with some cobblestones, because this will be the ground level up there, with some houses and buildings or something like that, which as we work our way around, so from the top we go down some steps, which was here like in the under shack, go down the stairs, then you're going under the ground, working your way all the way round to this point where we then lift the top bit off and then it accesses that dungeon underneath. So by doing this, it just gives me a rough idea of all the pieces that I'm going to need. You can plan it out a lot more than this. Personally, I tend to just do it so I've got an idea in my head what I'm going to need. So I know I'm going to need some sort of sewer tiles in these areas. I know that I'm going to need at least one bridge and then enough walls to go all the way around. I know I need some prison pieces, and then I'll just go through my ClickyWalls, whatever I've got printed out already, clicked all together what I need, start building it together, and then figure out what new pieces that I need, find those and just print them out as I go and start adding to it. And then I can usually get something like this done, getting all the pieces together in about a week. It takes me probably about half an hour to build it once I've got all the pieces, although some of the pieces I've already built. So for the houses, for example, that are sitting on the top, I'll probably have those already pre-built and just set to one side, and then I'll just bring them out. You know, that's a good thing about ClickyWalls. You can build structures and keep them, or you can just break it all back down again if you need to. Some of the pieces, so like this one, if this is a big tower, this will just sit next to this. So this is just something that I didn't do with the other build that I was showing you when I was away on holiday. I had all this connected up, so it was one massive unit. But what works quite well sometimes is if you do these individually. So you just build your tower, you know where you're going to be entering the tower from that bridge. So you're putting your walls and doors and windows where you want them, but it's a single standalone unit, and we're using the elbow connectors so that the walls will just butt up nicely against the other bits and pieces, and it just means it's nice and easy to then move it around, especially if somebody can't see a certain thing. Now we're quite lucky because I don't know if you've seen the video where I'm doing a walk around of the battle lounge, but you should check it out if you haven't, because the table that we use, our D&D table, it's basically a giant round dolly, and the whole thing turns around, so it makes it super easy. It means people haven't got to get up and walk around the table to move their miniatures and wherever they're going and fights and things like that. We just turn the table around, and it's brilliant. It works really well, especially for the ClickyWalls as well, where you've got that height and you might want to build it in such a way. There's a central piece like this, so the table's not all open. You've got that height, and having a table that rotates is really, really cool. And it's simple as well. It's really easy to do. I mean, we put a razor on ours as well, so that we can put all our dice trays and things like that underneath. The actual table itself, the rotating bit, you can just buy these big, round, rotatable dolly things. I can't remember what they're called. It's just on some bearings, and then you could just, if you've got a round table, just stick it on the round table. Get another second-hand table, probably the easiest way, which is already round, plonk it on the top, and then the whole thing turns. Once you've got that working, try it out. So if you like, if you do, then you just raise the whole thing up on some like little wooden blocks or something like that. It works brilliantly. Anyway, just wanted to show you this, how I design my dungeons, just so I've got a clear idea in my head, and then I can just make some notes about how much of everything that I'm going to need to print off. So I've got my print list. All right, cheers guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.